Have you ever wondered where the tradition of Christmas truly began? Our story takes us back, way back, to ancient Rome, where the seeds of Christmas were first sown. Here, in the heart of winter, the Romans celebrated a festival known as Saturnalia. It was a time of merriment, a time of feasting, and yes, a time of gift-giving, much like our Christmas today. Saturnalia was a tribute to the god Saturn, and it was marked by a week of festivities that began around December 17th. The Romans would feast, they would gamble, and they would exchange gifts. The gifts were often small, symbolic items, sometimes even joke gifts. And everyone, from the slaves to the masters, would join in the revelry. Now, you might be wondering, what does a pagan festival have to do with the birth of Jesus Christ? Well, as Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire, early Christians found themselves amidst these celebrations. While the exact date of Christ's birth was unknown, it was in this festive season that early Christians began to celebrate it. Whether this was a deliberate move to coincide with the popular pagan festival, or simply a result of proximity, is a topic of much debate. But what is clear is that many of the traditions of Saturnalia started to meld with the Christian celebration of Christ's birth. The feasting, the merriment, and yes, the gift-giving, all became a part of the Christian tradition. Over time, this evolved into what we now know as Christmas. The name itself, Christmas, is derived from the Old English term for Christ's Mass. And while the religious significance of Christmas has remained, many of the traditions we associate with this holiday have roots that reach back to the ancient Roman festival of Saturnalia. So, the birth of Christmas as we know it has its roots in ancient Rome's midwinter festival. A fascinating blend of the sacred and the secular, Christmas is a testament to the enduring power of tradition and celebration. As centuries passed, how did Christmas evolve in the Middle Ages? Well, let's dive into it. Christmas during the Middle Ages was a far cry from the twinkling lights and shopping frenzies we know today. Yet, it was during this period that Christmas celebrations became more prominent and some of our most cherished traditions were born. Imagine a world without radios, televisions, or the internet. In such a world, music was a vital form of entertainment, and Christmas was no exception. It was during the Middle Ages that the tradition of carol singing began. Originally, these were not songs but a form of communal dance. Over time, these dances evolved into songs, which were often stories or lessons set to music. These early carols were sung in homes and in public spaces, bringing festive cheer and a sense of community that still resonates in our modern caroling traditions. But what's a celebration without food? The Middle Ages saw the introduction of the Christmas feast, a tradition that continues to this day. These feasts were grand affairs, with tables laden with a variety of dishes. The centerpiece of the feast was often a boar's head, a symbol of bravery and strength. This was accompanied by an array of side dishes, desserts, and of course plenty of ale. Another tradition that began during the Middle Ages was the Yule log. The Yule log was a large piece of wood, often an entire tree, that was brought into the home and set on fire. It was believed that the log would bring good luck for the coming year if it burned continuously throughout the 12 days of Christmas. The ashes were then collected and used for various purposes, including as a charm to protect the house from evil. So, from carol singing to the Yule log, many traditions we associate with Christmas today were introduced in the Middle Ages. The evolution of these customs over the centuries reflects the enduring spirit of this festive season, a testament to the magic and wonder of Christmas. Fast forward to more recent times, how did our modern Christmas traditions come to be? Our Yuletide journey now takes us to the Victorian era, a time of profound change and modernization that truly shaped the Christmas we know and love today. In the heart of this era, around the mid-19th century, many of our cherished Christmas traditions took root and bloomed. Let's start with the Christmas tree, shall we? While the tradition of decorating trees during winter festivals dates back to the Romans and even earlier, the Christmas tree as we know it was popularized by Queen Victoria's German husband, Prince Albert. The sight of the royal family gathered around a decorated evergreen was so captivating that it quickly became a must-have in British homes. Next up, Christmas cards. Sir Henry Cole, a civil servant and inventor, wanted to encourage ordinary people to use the post office more, so he teamed up with an artist friend to design a festive card. Before long, the tradition of sending Christmas cards was born, and it spread like wildfire. Now, what would Christmas be without Santa Claus? This jolly figure has roots in numerous cultures, but his modern image was solidified during the Victorian era. The American poet Clement Clark Moore penned a poem in the early 1800s, that presented Santa as a jolly round-bellied man riding a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer. This image of Santa was further popularized by the illustrations of Thomas Nast, a political cartoonist. These traditions didn't remain confined to the British Isles or the United States. As the sun never set on the British Empire, these traditions spread globally. The American cultural influence also played a significant role in exporting these customs, turning Christmas into a global phenomenon celebrated by millions. The Victorian era truly shaped Christmas as we know it today, spreading joy and traditions around the globe. In today's world, how do we celebrate Christmas? Christmas, as we know it today, is a vibrant and festive holiday celebrated in countless ways around the globe. From the snowy streets of New York to the sunny beaches of Australia, each region puts its unique spin on the celebration, reflecting the diversity of traditions and cultures. In many Western countries, Christmas festivities are marked by beautifully decorated Christmas trees, the exchange of gifts, and an abundance of food. Children eagerly anticipate the arrival of Santa Claus, a jolly figure who, according to tradition, delivers presents to well-behaved children on Christmas Eve. Across the pond in the United Kingdom, the Christmas season is ushered in with carol singing, festive markets, and the much-anticipated Queen's Christmas message. In Australia, Christmas falls during the summer season and many folks celebrate it outdoors with barbecues and beach parties. In the East, even though predominantly non-Christian, Christmas is observed in its own unique way. In Japan, for instance, a Christmas tradition involves feasting on a bucket of Kentucky Fried Chicken, thanks to a successful marketing campaign in the 70s. But let's not sidestep the elephant in the room. The commercialization of Christmas has been a topic of debate for years. It's hard to ignore the emphasis on gift-giving, which has, in many ways, overshadowed the original religious significance of the holiday. Yet, it's also this very aspect of Christmas that has helped it transcend religious boundaries and become a global phenomenon. Today, Christmas isn't just a Christian holiday, it's a universal celebration of love, joy, and goodwill. People from various cultures and religions worldwide take part in the festivities, embracing the spirit of giving, the warmth of family gatherings, and the joy of shared meals. Yes, the ways we celebrate Christmas may have evolved over the centuries, and traditions may vary from place to place, but the essence of Christmas remains the same. It's a time for love, for giving, and for being together. Today, Christmas is a global celebration, bringing people together from all walks of life. But beyond the traditions and celebrations, what is the true essence of Christmas? Christmas, in its most profound sense, is not just about the twinkling lights, the shimmering ornaments, or the brightly wrapped gifts tucked underneath the tree. It's not just about the sumptuous meals shared or the merry carols sung. Rather, the essence of Christmas lies in the values it represents and the warmth it brings into our hearts. At the core of this festive season, we find love, peace, and generosity. These values are not merely abstract concepts but are brought to life in the simple acts of kindness we show to one another. The spirit of Christmas is seen when we extend a helping hand to those in need, when we share what we have with those less fortunate, and when we open our hearts to those around us. Love is the guiding light of Christmas, illuminating our interactions with family, friends, and even strangers. The season encourages us to express our love openly and generously, fostering a sense of belonging and unity. Peace, too, is a central theme of Christmas. It is a time when we set aside our differences, when the world seems to pause in a moment of tranquility. It is a time to reflect on the year gone by and to look forward with hope to the future. Generosity, another cornerstone of the Christmas spirit, is not confined to the giving of physical gifts. It can be as simple as giving your time, your attention, or even a comforting word to someone in need. And of course, Christmas is deeply rooted in the importance of family and togetherness. It is a time when families gather, when distances seem smaller, and when the warmth of loved ones envelops us. So, as we celebrate this season, let us remember that the true essence of Christmas lies not in the material things, but in the love, peace, and generosity we share, and in the joy of togetherness. Despite its diverse history and evolution, the heart of Christmas remains the same, a time of love, peace, and togetherness.